Hello there guys, this is Alex here, bringing you part 11 of What If Deku Was the Reincarnation of Link. Where we last left off, Izuku and Katsumi, after the little contest, with Katsumi beating the record and winning the little wager Izuku and Katsumi made, Katsumi noticed some familiar faces within the crowd. She cursed herself, and now she must try to find a way to avoid them. As Katsumi would say, "Hey Izu, let's go and get some refreshments, shall we?" Izuku saying, "Sure, but aren't those..." Before Izuku could finish the sentence, Katsumi dragged him out of the arena. Once they reached a cafe far from the stadium, Katsumi was sighing in relief as she would say, "I think we lost them." Izuku saying, "Why did we have to run like maniacs? And weren't our classmates within the crowd in the stadium? We could at least say hi, you know?" Katsumi, playing dumb, would say, "What do you mean? I didn't see our classmates. Why were they in that stadium? In that case, we should go back and say hi." Izuku saying, "Well, never mind. At least tell me why you dragged me all the way here." Katsumi panicking and saying, "Well, you see, there was this ice cream I wanted to try, so why not sit down and relax and have some nice ice cream together?" While the two were looking at the menu, one of the waiters would arrive to take their order. As the person would say, "Have you decided on what to get, or you need more time, Miss Bakugo? Midoriya, what are you two doing here?" Katsumi froze, hearing those words. Once she looked from behind the menu, she sighed in relief, as Katsumi would say, "Oh, it's just Dun's face." Inspecting him from head to toe, she would say, I assume you're working here, so yeah. Bring us this specialty ice cream. Make it quick." Izuku saying, "Kachan, you could have at least said hello to our classmate." Katsumi, irritated, would say, "Hello, Dun's face. Bring us the specialty ice cream, and make it quick." Izuku sighing in defeat, as he would say, "Sorry, Kaminari, she's..." As Kaminari would say, "Don't worry, Midoriya, I've gotten used to her personality." As someone would say, "Personality? What are you talking about? She always seems to have her panties in a twist, or she cramps which make her crampy the entire time. So what's her deal this time?" Katsumi slowly put down the menu and glaring at the person that she knew had to be Mineta. As she would say, "Oh, perv. Oi, perv. Seems you grew a pair overnight. Do you want me to knock you down a peg or two?" Mineta, crying and regretting what he just said, would say, "Please be gentle." At that comment, Katsumi was going to beat up Mineta, but Izuku grabbed Katsumi to prevent Mineta's undoing, but it ended up causing a scene. And Katsumi, to prevent any more prying eyes, she stopped, but instead she just glared at him, with some intense bloodlust behind it. Mineta simply hid behind Kaminari, as Izuku, whispering to Katsumi's ear, would say, "Katchan, let it go. Once you see him back in class, you can do whatever you want with him, and you can ask the others to join in beating him." Katsumi, visibly intrigued, would say, "Fine, you're off the hook now, perv. Enjoy while you can. Next time you won't be as lucky." Mineta, crying, would say, "Why do I have a feeling of something worse is going to happen?" Katsumi saying, "We are still waiting for our ice cream." Mineta went to serve a different table so that he might get the chance to flirt with some girls, while Kaminari went in to get their ice cream. As someone would say, "There you are." As Katsumi, cursing to herself, would say, "Come on! How did you find us so soon?" As Griselda would say, "Simple. Just drop your violent personality and lower your voice. I'm sure that everyone on Island heard you by now." Katsumi, frustrated, would say, "Can't I have some alone time with Izu?" Griselda saying, "Nope. And look over there. Here comes the rest of the gang." Katsumi sighing as she would say, "Oh great, they're also here." Katsumi screamed internally on the sight of Shoto, Kirishima, Paya, Ochako, Ida, and two new faces. But she was somewhat relieved on the sight of Mina and Jiro, her only allies, in the midst of Class 1A students, or rather the ones that have no romantic interest in Izuku. As Paya, catching up, would say, "Lady Griselda, please don't wander off by yourself. Oh, Katsumi and Izuku, you are here as well." As someone would say, "Oh my god, it's him, isn't it? The one that wields the blade of evil's bane, the reincarnated hero of legends. Quick, I need a selfie." Izuku, confused, would say, A selfie?" As the girl would hug Izuku and gets her smartphone. as she would say, now smile, and snap. All done. As Katsumi, visibly triggered, would say, what the fuck? Who does this bitch think she is? As she would say, sarcastically, if you ask nicely, I'll tell you. As Katsumi, pissed, would say, that's it, I'm going to. Izuku, holding Katsumi, would say, Kachan, please calm down. Do you really want to cause a scene? As Katsumi, scoffing and turning the other way, bitch. Izuku, sighing and saying, sorry about that. As the girl would say, no need to apologize. Anyways, my name is Pura Sheikah, the daughter of Professor Robert Sheikah. And with me is Melissa Shield, the daughter of Professor David Shield. I never knew that the day I was going to meet with the legendary hero reincarnated, and the sword that seals the darkness. Izuku, weirded out, would say, yeah, about that. As Melissa would say, Pura, you're freaking him out. I'm sure that the two of them are here for the Expo. As Pura would say, if that's the case, let's take them there. Meanwhile, they were talking about the Expo. Katsumi was pouting in silence, but Minajiro noticed, and they would try to cheer her up. Ochako, clinging to Izuku, would say, hey Izu, why didn't you tell me you were coming here? As Izuku would say, well, you see... Katsumi would say, because I want you to stay away from him. And now my plan is going to ruin this crap. Izuku, confused, would say, plan? What plan? As Katsumi, visibly frustrated, would say, shut up. At that point, the girls, Katsumi, Griselda, and Ochako, were having a three-way argument. Shoto would go into the scene and would say, Midoriya, I think I should apologize for the way I acted since the day I met you. Bakugo over there in our fight in the sports festival made me think, and I was wondering if we can be friends. As the three-way argument continued, the rest of the gang would have a conversation getting to know more about the Expo, and they were expecting Riju, since they saw Thunder strike inside the arena. And on the mention of her name, Riju popped out of nowhere, scaring them. Then the three-way argument became a four-way argument, and Tokyoami, that was with Riju, made himself known. As Melissa would say, Midoriya, I'm curious of those support items you have. If possible, I would like to check them out. As Izuku, laughing nervously, would say, yeah, after the Expo, I guess. As Pura would say, you know, the Expo will be open to the public tomorrow, but if you like, we can go and check it out now, so we can tinker a bit with those items. Izuku would say, what do you mean? As Pura would say, I mean, me and Melissa are important people. I don't see any problems coming our way. Besides, in exchange for letting us tinker a bit with your items, I want you to take a crack at something, which made every scientist on this island give up. Izuku saying, what do you mean? I'm no scientist. What will I guarantee if I can do it? Pura would say, I'm not expecting you to succeed. I simply ask for you to take a crack at it. Come on. Pura dragged Izuku. As she was dragging Izuku, Pura wasn't looking where she was going. Caused a chain of events that led everyone in a painful and uncomfortable position, and bystanders couldn't help but chuckle, as Pura would say, sorry, I'm a bit clumsy. After a while, Pura brought the gang where she promised. Pura saying, welcome to the Expo, but since it's not officially open to the public yet, there are some people that are missing. But enough about that, follow me. After following Pura, passing by inventions after inventions, until they arrived in a private lab. Then, she showed the gang what she had in her hand. As Pura would say, I present you with the first ever device, which was the inspiration of our daily use of smartphones, and not to mention a huge step for society itself, the Sheikah Slate. Everybody was confused. Izuku is lost in thought, as Pura would say, and we're actually giving them a deadpan look, would say, you don't know what the Sheikah Slate is, don't you? The gang simply shook their heads, signaling Pura to continue. As Pura would say, okay then, to make an ancient story incredibly short, according to history and legends left behind, this artifact from the distant past known as the Sheikah Slate was rumored to be a key to ancient shrines, towers, and the divine beast. Unfortunately, it's not working. It never did from the day we discovered it, but when checking those details again, I discovered something that I carelessly overlooked. Then I asked myself, if the Sheikah Slate is rumored to be the key, what and who was the key made for? Then it dawned on me. But the answer stands among us, and it's him, pointing at Izuku. None other than the reincarnated hero himself. Izuku saying, me? Pura saying, yep. Now to find out if it's true or not. Here, take it. Izuku saying, what? Just like that? Pura would say, what did you expect? Something fancier? Izuku saying, no, not really. Pura would say, so what are you waiting for? Take it. Izuku grabbed the Sheikah Slate and he started to inspect it. Slowly but surely, a faint light of orange and blue was emanating from some parts. A sound came from the Sheikah Slate, alerting everyone in the room. Izuku saying, what the? Asked Pura, excited, give me that. Tinkering and muttering, ruins, check, map, check, teleportation function, offline, divine beast, data, blocked. There's also a gallery. Let's see. Interesting indeed. The people there were confused and they started to ask Melissa if she was okay, but before Melissa could answer, Pura snapped out of it. As Pura, looking at the Sheikah Slate and talking to herself, would say, it seems this Sheikah Slate was indeed used by the hero 5,000 years ago. Good news, most of the data can be used, including the runes, the maps, while the teleportation function, after I managed to update the map, giving the coordinates. Bad news, the data for the Divine Beast, which is what I was really interested in, are blocked. Though I'm not surprised considering the records, they were destroyed sometime after the defeat of Calamity. Izuku saying, how can you tell it's the Sheikah Slate belonging to the hero? As Pura, looking at the Sheikah Slate, while talking to the gang, would say, I've heard rumors of him being a glutton, but after viewing this gallery, which is mostly pictures of food, I have no doubt, but I noticed that he's in some pictures. There are some pictures of him sleeping, eating, and what the fuck is that? I did not need to know that. As she would start clearing her throat and gaining composure, and she would say, and I have a suspicion which makes me wonder, as Griselda, getting her in the face, would say, Pura, sorry to interrupt, may I take a look on what made you freak out? As Pura, with the foxy grin, would say, why would I do that? Something tells me you were the one using the Sheikah Slate after the Calamity was defeated, dear princess. Griselda, stuttering and covering her face from embarrassment. It's not, it was back then, and The gang was shocked to see Griselda lose her composure and wondered what was the cause of her odd behavior, as Katsumi, smirking, would say, I guess back then she was even a naughty princess. Pura saying, moving on, there are videos as well? Oh, I never knew it was even possible. Tell you what, let's try to connect this to the big screen so all you can see how it was back then. As Griselda, stuttering, would say, please don't. As Pura would say, don't worry, it's a harmless video. After a while, Pura managed to connect the Sheikah Slate to a TV and played some videos that apparently were recorded by Princess Zelda back in the day. Video 1 was a video of Link defeating Lynels, Moblins, Bokoblins, and Lizalfos and Hypnixus, with Zelda cheering in the background. After the Calamity, which Class 1A students saw some similarities with his fighting style. Video 2 was a video Link wearing the Zora armor and Sidong sparring. Then it became a race swimming up a waterfall. The people seeing it were impressed and wondered how strong Link was, but Katsumi finding it odd only for the Zora armor. Video 3, it was a video of Link wearing a weird outfit that looked like metal on a volcano where a giant mechanical lizard-looking thing was located, and Yonubo, being startled, he put up a red barrier while being scared. There was a lit chuckle coming from some of the students, but Kirishima recognized the red barrier, which was similar to the one he made during the sports festival. Video 4, it was a video of Riju wearing a weird helm and Link racing on sand seals, with Chief Riju being attacked by Yaga clan members, but they were electrocuted by thunder, with the race continuing afterwards, with Riju ultimately losing, and everyone wondered if their classmate Riju had any ties of the Riju in the video, while Riju put 2 and 2 together and realized that Riju in the video was her ancestor. Video 5 was a simple target practice with a bow and arrows, and a bird-like creature, aka Teba, of the Rito, would challenge Link to who can break more targets, which was supervised by Zelda and a Rito named Tulin. Unfortunately for the Rito, Link kneeled and wind started to blow beneath him, which gave him a head start and he managed to win. And Tulin commented on how time seemed to stop, which everybody glared at Izuku, wondering if he can do the same. Video 6, Zelda was recording in an underground cave to do some research. With Link in front of her, they could definitely see a weird light coming from within the tunnel, and once they reached the source of the strange light, they saw a corpse dressed with a lot of jewelry and a hand holding it. Once Link and Zelda got closer, the hand that was holding the corpse was absorbed by Link, and the corpse started to move. Zelda was scared as soon as they made a single step backwards, an echo of cracking noise could be heard. The two realized that the corpse turned its head towards them. The last thing that they could have seen were the creepy red eyes, then the ceiling of the cave, as Zelda's voice could be heard in the distance saying, "Link, I dropped the Sheikah Slate." As Pura would say, "Whoa, what was that thing?" As Katsumi would say, "Are you sure it's not a mummy? What do you think it is, Izu?" But Katsumi noticed Izuku trembling. Then she glanced over to Griselda. She too was trembling. Melissa too noticed how the room changed after the last video, as Melissa, trying to change topics. "Anyways, tonight there's going to be a party." As Ida would say, "Yeah, the party we should all go as a group. Besides, a little fun from time to time helps out. I heard there are going to be pro heroes. If I'm not mistaken, the top 10 heroes will be there." As Shota would say, "I'll pass." While Momo was trying to convince Shota to participate, Katsumi was thinking, as Katsumi's inner dialogue would say, "Crap, I didn't bring anything fancy, otherwise this would have been a good opportunity." As Ito would say, "So it's decided, we'll meet at the lobby at 7 then. We'll head out to the party as a group, don't be late." Melissa would say, "Could you give these tickets to the two friends of yours? I feel bad for them." As Ito would say, "Will do." Katsumi was confused. Time skipped to the evening. Since Izuku nor Katsumi had any fancy clothes with them, they went to Momo, which she made Izuku some good-looking clothes. Then Katsumi pushed Izuku out, while having a red face, which confused Izuku. Sometime later, Izuku went to the lobby of the hotel, but the guys, except for Kirishima and Shota, were there. As Ida, doing karate chops, would say, "Midoriya, it's 7:05. Why do you have that sword of yours on your back? Do you know that you are late? And not to mention the girls. Why is it that women are always late?" Kaminari would say, "Ida, relax. It's not that it would be the end of us if we're late." As Izuku would say, "Ida, I had to ask Momo if she could make me this outfit, and considering Katsumi also doesn't have any formal wear, you should cut them some slack." As Mineta would say, "Yeah, Ida, why don't you chill? I, for one, want to see the ladies and what kind of exposed clothes they have." As soon as Mineta made the comment, lightning struck Mineta. As Riju would say, "Oh great, the midget came after all." Paya saying him and Kaminari were invited by Melissa and Pura. Why wouldn't they come? As Riju would say, "Just forget it." The rest of the boys turned around to see the girls arriving. Once the girls arrived, Kaminari thanked Melissa for the tickets, also on Mineta's behalf. The guys gave their opinions to the girls, which they appreciated, except for Mineta's pervy comments. Izuku saying, "Momo, where's Kachan?" As Momo would say, "Hi, Izuku, if you're looking for Katsumi," as Momo looks behind her and points at a pillar, "you might want to check there." Before Izuku could start heading towards Katsumi's location, Griselda tries to stop him, with the help of Ochako and Riju, but their attempt was futile. Once Izuku made his way to Katsumi, Izuku looked shocked, as Izuku would say, "Kachan, you look..." But before Izuku could finish the sentence, an alarm goes off, as Phi, coming out of the store, would say, "Master, I detect danger. Please exercise caution." To be continued. So, yeah, guys, I hope that you guys like the script. Again, shoutouts to my boy, Erdgan Tsuchimikado. Have any comments for him? Say it, once. I'm sorry for the background noise. It gets fucking annoying, but if I don't record, I'll just make an excuse that I didn't record, or simply, there's too much noise, I can't record. And yeah, it's always kind of busy in my house. A lot of family members, and a lot of stray dogs, not gonna lie. But hey, what can you do? Well, I hope you guys liked the video. Like and subscribe if you want more. And in this case, I may do something for this one, just because I'd really like, I guess, the very few viewers that I have for this one, you know, respect to you. At least it seems that you either like the Legend of Zelda lore or simply, you know, like fucking Ed's fucking writing. I don't blame you. It makes it interesting when he doesn't talk about lore stuff, not gonna lie. But hey, what can I say? I'm not a big Legend of Zelda fan, so that's his shtick. But without further ado, I hope you liked the video and have a good day or good night.